morning, everyone. Happy CEAP Day. Happy 80th birthday, CEAP. 80 years of commitment to transformative education. We just had the Thanksgiving Mass presided by Bishop Danny Presto, the Bishop of the Diocese of San Fernando in La Union, and a member of the CBCP Episcopal Commission on Catechesis and Catholic Education. And now we begin the program for the launch of CEAP at 80, the year-long celebration of our 80th year. We are live both on Facebook and YouTube today. We request you to share the links to your friends and colleagues and use the hashtags CEAP Cares, CEAP Day, and CEAP at 80. While you are at it, please like our Facebook page and subscribe to the CEAP channel on YouTube. So like, subscribe, and share. And now, to formally welcome us to this gathering, we call on our President, Sister Maria Marisa Viri, RVM.
Good morning, everyone. Happy CEAP Day to all of you. Thank you for joining us today as we mark our 80th foundation anniversary. We thank the Most Reverend Daniel O. Presto, DD, for presiding over our Thanksgiving Mass today. Bishop Presto has been so much a part of CEAP in the past, being the trustee of Region 3 and then a member of the National Tertiary Education Commission shortly before he was appointed bishop. Thank you once again, Bishop Presto, for celebrating CEAP Day with us today. Allow me to also greet all the attendees in the different regions all over the country. Happy 80th birthday to us. We are CEAP. We are one family. The celebration of the CEAP's 80th year coincides with the celebration of the 500 years of the coming of Christianity in the Philippines. The CBCP has declared this year as the year of mission. In its pastoral letter released last November, declaring 2021 as the year of Missio ad Gentes, the CBCP echoes Pope Francis' call for a missionary renewal in our church. Having received the gift of faith from dedicated men and women 500 years ago, we Christians have been gifted to give. Hence, our heart should be ever brimming with missionary enthusiasm as we pass on this gift. Our 80-year history in CEAP shows this missionary zeal. The beginnings of our history record that the idea of an association of Catholic schools in the Philippines came from the Most Reverend Michael J. O'Doherty, D.D., Archbishop of Manila. It came at a time when he thought that Catholic schools had to be better organized, primarily to ensure quality instruction. Since its birth on February 2, 1941, CEAP has been committed to quality education. However, Catholic schools share more than just quality instruction in the evangelizing mission of the church. They are living witnesses to Jesus Christ and his message, especially during very trying times in our nation's history. In living out our prophetic mission, our schools serve as agents of social transformation through the kind of education we provide. Quality transformative education, then, is our gift to the church and society. In fact, in 2016, when we celebrated our 75th anniversary in Cebu City, we intensified our commitment to quality transformative education when we launched the Philippine Catholic School Standards for Basic Education. The PCSS for Basic Education defined standards and benchmarks of an excellent Catholic school. This landmark document serves as a tool for self-assessment of school-wide effectiveness and looks at quality instruction. It endeavors to make us reflect on the various aspects of our school's operation, like Catholic identity and mission, leadership and governance, learning environment, learner development, and operational vitality. Since its launching in 2016, our programs and activities, conventions and conferences have been designed using the PCSS framework. As we celebrate our 80th year, we move forward with even greater vigor. This year, we are set to launch another landmark document, the Philippine Catholic School Standards for Higher Education, another gift that we offer to the church and society. 500 years ago, we were given a great gift. According to the CBCP Pastoral Statement on Stewardship, released last Friday, every gift is a responsibility. We recognize every gift, nurture it, generously share it with others, and gratefully return it with an increase to the Lord. Hence, from the gift of faith that we Filipinos received 500 years ago, which was passed on to us by those who came before us, and which now nurture in our hearts, ours is the responsibility to share this gift of faith. So we continue to participate in this mission of evangelization through our educational institutions, bearing in mind that the end goal of Catholic education is being conformed to Jesus, the great teacher. And as we move on to the next 60 years, 80 years in CEAP, may we remain steadfast in our commitment to transformative education. And may our faithfulness to our mission be a gift that keeps on giving. God bless us all. May the Lord sustain us in this mission. Thank you very much and a pleasant morning to all.
Thank you very much, Sister Marisa. Thank you for reminding us of our continuing task of sharing in the evangelizing mission of the Church. Now, to give us the overview of the CEAP at 80 celebration, we call on the CEAP Vice President and Chair of the CEAP at 80 Ad Hoc Committee, Father Tadeo Enrique Balongag.
Good morning, Catholic schools, colleges, and universities in the Philippines. Happy 80th year, Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines. The year 2021 is meaningful to both the Catholic Church in the Philippines and the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines. On March 21, 2021, the Philippine Catholic Church will celebrate the 500th year of the presence of Christianity in the Philippines. Today, February 2, 2021, the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines celebrates officially its foundation anniversary. 80 years ago, today, the Most Reverend Michael O. Doherty Didi, then the Archbishop of Manila, founded the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines to better organize Catholic schools in order to ensure quality instruction. These two landmark celebrations of 2021 make Filipino Catholics truly proud of their heritage. the length of time of their institutional existence speaks a lot about the inner strength that could only be powered by the grace of God, and gives witness to the faithfulness of Filipino Catholics in their faith journey. Today, on the occasion of its 80th year, the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines looks beyond to find out how best it can sustain and model its mission, A, of promoting solidarity and unity of action among individuals and member institutions that work towards fulfilling the evangelizing mission of the Church in education. B, of widening access to and promoting quality and transformative Catholic education. C, of serving as a steadfast and effective catalyst of change through education in the different dimensions of human life. That CEAP may truly work towards a world transformed, a Philippines renewed by people educated in the principles of communio and service, as taught and lived by our Lord Jesus Christ, and shaped by the missionary mandate of the Catholic Church. Conscious of its founding mandate, its rich history, and the call of the present time, it looks into itself to find out how it can further contribute to the advancement of the evangelizing mission of the Church. Thus, the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines, celebrating its 80th foundation anniversary, recommits itself to affirming and strengthening the promotion of its mission, institutionalizing programs that respond to the call of its mission, and joining individuals and member institutions to take part in the causes of its mission, gathering individuals and member institutions in prayer for the success of the work of promoting its mission, and collectively offering praises and thanksgiving to the Father for 80 years of meaningful service and transformative education. Guided by the reasons for celebrating the year of grace and mercy, shall be deepened by the CAP at 80 theme. What is the theme? The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, in celebration of Christianity's 500 years of presence in the Philippines, chose to reflect on the celebration with Gifted to Give. 500 years have been 5 centuries of blessings and the call to share. Catholic education operates in a world that is fast becoming off tangent to values that are Catholic. We live in a world that has chosen to deviate from traditions regarded as sacred and has walked on paths that are alien to the expectations and goals that Catholic education holds dear. For CEAP at 80, we shall gather to collectively reflect on presence as presence, embracing our evangelizing mission by inspiring, witnessing, and sanctifying. We offer our presence in the world, to the world, by being present and making the world feel that we are here, nurturing life, assisting in the progress of the world and of humanity, and preserving the fundamentals of a free and meaningful existence. Here in our country, the presence of the Church has been sought to guide, to lead, and to enlighten. In giving of ourselves, we embrace our evangelizing mission by sincerely inspiring, witnessing, and sanctifying. We offer our presence as an inspiration. In recent years, scandals and divisions have rocked the church, and these have taken people away from the church. While these realities have wounded the church and the faithful, the church, in many aspects of her life and mission, have not absolutely extinguished her light of inspiration. In the silent corners of the church, holiness and selfless love persist. Works of mercy and compassion, lives lived in authentic witnessing and sanctification, and a church that tirelessly endeavors for the progress and nurturing of the life of the world and humanity continue to adorn the altar of God. We offer our presence by means of true witnessing, where faith is manifest in life, where Christian values are guiding lifestyles, and where Christ becomes manifest in a Catholic's life. In a world that is rapidly deviating from the treasures that the church holds dear, authentic witnessing can be a strong guide to taking the world back to Christ, from whom real life flows. We offer our presence by means of sanctification, where the perfection of charity is concretely experienced and lived. In Fratelli Tutti, Pope Francis invites peoples and nations to build new culture where life is the art of encounter that transcends differences and divisions. By inspiring, witnessing, sanctifying, we live out our kingly, prophetic, and priestly roles. We serve, we proclaim, we worship. 500 years ago, Christianity was brought to the archipelago. For 500 years, this faith was brought to every door of every home across the country. And for at least 500 ways, this same faith was brought to the hearts of those in different homes in different regions and provinces across the country. Inspired by the holiness of countless men and women all through the centuries and the selflessness of the martyrs, San Lorenzo Ruiz de Manila and companions, and San Pedro Calungsod, the Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines at 80 celebrates with the Church in gratitude and gladness the gift of the Christian faith. Today, as CEAP marks the beginning of its year-long celebration, it brings itself to a deep reflection on 8 elements that capture 8 decades of crosses, crossroads, and crowns. The number 80 carries the message of continuity of learning and of CEAP's nonstop pursuit and commitment to truth and its mission to evangelize. The palm branch symbolizes victory that is promised to the faithful and loyal workers in the vineyard of the Lord. The brown cross reminds everyone of the inevitability of sacrifice in the work of evangelization. It also assures that by this sign and grace shall Catholic education realize its vision and mission. The map is CEAP's call to take part in the work of the Church by proclaiming Christ to the world and in the world. The boat in shades of blue and red represents the journey that CEAP is called to undertake as it gives back the faith that the nation received 500 years ago. The rosary beneath the symbol of the boat are a testament to the association's devotion to the Blessed Mother and its trust in her intercession and patronage. The 17 golden rays represent the 17 CEAP regions, the association's reason for being. The overarching yellow gold ecclesiastical color, where the logo is nestled, confirms how CEAP's life and mission are thinking and feeling with the church. Sentire cum ecclesia. In response to the celebration, CEAP offers programs and activities on the national and regional levels. It shall strongly pursue its mission and work on the institutionalization of programs that concretize the mission of CEAP, using the GIPG pillar programs as springboard. It shall undertake the proposals and resolutions called during the GIPG National Conference. It shall organize a CEAP National Day of Prayer and Reflection to thank the Lord for at least 80 years of meaningful service and transformative education. It shall continue to advocate causes which help sustain quality private Catholic education and shall lobby for private education teachers' welfare and similar issues. It shall encourage national commissions and committees to embark on landmark projects. It shall encourage regions to establish programs for the poor. It shall lead regions to celebrate the milestone in a meaningful manner, given the circumstances of the times. CEAP shall respond to its call made by the celebration using the different activities. Last January 25th, up until yesterday, we saw build-up activities to the launch via Catholic Schools Week and the CEAP National GIPG Conference. Today, we are launching the CEAP at 80 celebration. On March 22, 2021, we will have a webinar to reflect on March 21, 1521, the growth of Christianity and the role of Catholic schools in evangelization and social transformation. And sometime in April of 2021, CEAP shall observe National Day of Prayer and Reflection. These are our activities in the initial months of the year-long celebration. More activities will be made known to everyone in the intervening months. We shall invite you to participate in our activities to highlight CEAP's 80 years of life and mission. We pray that you all will continue to take part and support our activities and programs. The CEAP at 80 Ad Hoc Committee is composed of the following members: Mr. Jose Alan I. Arellano, Ms. Mary Ann Cruz, Ms. Nel Gaboy, Father Ferdinand Magigad, Sister Luz Viminda Mojica, FDCC, and Ms. Kiana Rivera. And now, to mark our solidarity as one association, let us add the CEAP at 80 frames on our profile pictures in Facebook. This is how we will do it. Hover the mouse over your existing profile picture if you have a Facebook account. But if you still don't have one, you can probably catch up by creating one. Click the Update Profile Picture button, and across the top are three options: Upload Photo, Add Frame, and Edit Thumbnail. Select Add Frame. Use the search box at the top of the interface to look for the CEAP frames. Type the keyword CEAP. Choose between the two customized frames. Click Use as Profile Picture. And you will see your picture with a CEAP at 80 frame. Happy CEAP Day, everyone, and congratulations. May we all have a wonderful year ahead of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Father Iking. We look forward to the exciting lineup of activities for our year-long celebration of our 80th year. We will now have the presentation of CEAP attendees by region. We now request our CEAP Secretary and Trustee of the Cordillera Administrative Region, Father Gilbert Sales, CICM, to present our attendees. Father Gilbert?
Good morning, CEAP. Happy 80th Foundation Anniversary. Let us show our solidarity today as we celebrate as one and as the biggest educational association in the Philippines, committed to transformative education. As your region is called, please make your presence felt by typing in a greeting, perhaps in your dialect, and the name of your school at the comments section of Facebook or YouTube. Let us now begin with our trustee at large. Let us welcome our President, Sister Maria Marisa Viri, RVM. Our Treasurer, Father Albert Delvo. The Chair of the Basic Education Commission, Sister Felicitas Bernardo, SPC. The Chair of our Technical Vocational Education Commission, Father Onofre Inocencio, SDB, and Father Mauricio Ulet, CMF. Let us welcome the attendees per region. Let us give a virtual applause for the attendees from my region, the Cordillera Administrative Region. We welcome the attendees from Region 1, led by the Regional Trustee, Father Ramon Caluza, CICM. Let us also welcome the attendees from Region 2, led by the Regional Trustee, Dr. Exuperio Flores Jr. We now call on the attendees from Region 3, led by the Regional Trustee, Mr. Narciador Dionisio. Let us welcome the attendees from Region 4, led by the Regional Trustee, Sister Luz Viminda Mojica, FDCC. We now call on the attendees from the National Capital Region with the Regional Trustee, Father Nolan A. Ke, who is also our Christian Formation Commission Chairperson. Again, do not forget to make your presence felt by writing your greetings at the comments section. Now let us welcome Region 5 with their Regional Trustee, Father Odin Ariola. From the Visayas, let us welcome the attendees from Region 6 with their Trustee, Father Jose Gualberto Villasis, our Higher Education Commission Chairperson. We also welcome the attendees from Region 7 with their Trustee, Father Fidel Orendain, SDB. We now call on the attendees from the Negros Island, led by the Regional Trustee, Father Tadeo Enrique Balonga, our Vice President. We call on the attendees from Region 8 with their Trustee, Father Ray Anthony Navidad. Welcome to all our Visayas attendees. We now move on to Mindanao. Let us welcome the attendees from Region 9 with the Regional Trustee, Father Karel San Juan S.J., our Advocacy Commission Chair. We also welcome the attendees from Region 10 with their trustee, Father Max Ceballos. Let us also put our hands together for the attendees from Region 11, led by their trustee, Father Thomas Avila Jr. We also welcome the attendees from Region 12, led by Sister Maria Herodias, RVN, their regional trustee. We now call on the attendees from Caraga, led by the regional trustee, Sister Marie Rosan Malilid, SPC. And last but not the least, we call on the attendees from the Bangsa Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, led by their trustee, Father Eduardo M. Santoyo, OMI. We also welcome all the superintendents, led by the President of the Superintendents Commission Chairperson, Father Joseph Raymond Are. We are also joined by other commissions and committee chairpersons, Michael Feliciano Veneracion, Chairperson of the PCSS Commission, and Dr. Pilar Romero, Chairperson of the Research Committee. There you have it, our attendees of the CEAP Day. Mabuhay tayong lahat! Mabuhay ang CEAP!
Thank you, Father Gilbert. Welcome to all our attendees. At this point, we will listen to the inspirational message to be given to us by the Superintendent of the Diocese of Imus Catholic Educational System, our former CEAP Corporate Secretary, and the Regional Secretary for Asia of the International Office for Catholic Education, Father Alain P. Manalo.
Good morning, fellow educators, especially to the esteemed members of the CEAP community. A blessed 80th Foundation Anniversary to us. And may the Lord, who has commissioned us to the ministry of Catholic education, sustain us amidst the seemingly unending challenges that have beset us. I wish to go straight to the point. Is accessibility an essential mark or a defining characteristic of a Catholic school? Needless to say, our Catholic identity and mission has been our preoccupation in the ministry of Catholic schools. We ask ourselves every now and then, how Catholic are our schools? And how Catholic can our schools still become? In our local context, we are blessed with the publication of the Philippine Catholic School Standards, PCSS, for basic education, and very soon also for higher education. We have now a guide to assess and direct ourselves in terms of our Catholicity. Now going back to accessibility, my concern with it for our Catholic schools was born from an encounter with two lines from Gravissimum Educationis. First, since all Christians have become, by rebirth of water and the Holy Spirit, a new creature, so that they should be called and should be children of God, they have a right to a Christian education. Gravissimum Educationis, number 2. This sacred council of the Church earnestly entreats pastors to spare no sacrifice in helping Catholic schools fulfill their function in a continually more perfect way, and especially in caring for the needs of those who are poor in the goods of this world, or who are deprived of the assistance and affection of a family, or who are strangers to the gift of faith. Gravissimum Educationis, number 9. Gravissimum Educationis used the word right, not privilege. All Christians have a right to Christian education. And so I have been asking, are we violating a right, a Christian right, if Catholic children who sincerely desire or need to go to a Catholic school are not accepted? The earnest admonition of the Second Vatican Council is addressed to bishops, the pastors, and his assistants to spare no sacrifice in helping Catholic schools, to care for the poor, the orphans, and the strangers in the faith. This, for me, is a call for accessibility, to open our Catholic schools to all, especially the deprived in this world. Before PCSS, I was guided by a chapter of the book, The Holy See's Teaching on Catholic Schools, by Archbishop Michael Miller, CSB. Archbishop Miller wrote it in 2006 when he was the secretary of the Congregation for Catholic Education. The chapter was entitled 5 Essential Marks of Catholic Schools. Curiously, he took up the issue of accessibility of Catholic schools in a chapter separate from the treatment of the 5 essential marks. It was there that I encountered for the first time the lines from Gravissimum Educationis that I cited earlier. Accessibility was not mentioned among the 5 essential marks of Catholic schools. The 5 essential marks given were supernatural vision, Christian anthropology, Catholic worldview of the curriculum, communion, and gospel witnessing. I wish to interpret that the good Archbishop saw accessibility to be part of the Church's teaching on communion, as he emphasized solidarity and assisting the weak instead of marginalization under the section on communion. While not listing it to be an essential mark of Catholic schools, Archbishop Miller nevertheless emphasized accessibility as an expression of the Catholic schools' participation in the evangelizing mission of the Church. In a separate paper, he wrote, "From the days of their first appearance in Europe, Catholic schools have generously served the needs of the socially and economically disadvantaged, and have given special attention to those who are weakest. All Catholic children, not just those whose families have the financial means, have a right to Catholic education. Vatican documents stress that the Church's preferential option for the poor means that she offers her educational ministry in the first place to those who are poor in the goods of this world." Gravissimum Educationis number 9, and Consecrated Persons and Their Mission Schools number 69 to 72. The Holy See supports the concern of the American bishops to provide for the poor and those who might be underprepared for high academic achievement. The Catholic school is a school for all with special attention to those who are weakest. The Catholic school on the threshold of the third millennium, number 15, the Catholic school, number 58, and consecrated persons and their mission schools, number 70. The Philippine Catholic School Standards mentioned in passing the issue of accessibility under its seventh defining characteristic of Catholic schools, to wit, an excellent Catholic school in the Philippines is engaged in the service of the Church and society with preferential option for the poor. Under this section, PCSS admitted, making Catholic education accessible and available to all youth, especially those encumbered by poverty, is a mission that remains a critical challenge facing many Catholic schools in the country today. PCSS Standard 4 and its benchmarks are more explicit in advocating accessibility of Catholic schools, especially to the poor. As an example, PCSS Benchmark 4.2 says, the school allocates human and financial resources to make education equitably accessible to the poor. Commitment to accessibility, no doubt, speaks well about a Catholic school seriously embracing its Catholic identity and mission. While obviously it remains a very serious challenge to hurdle, it is not a responsibility or a vocation that Catholic schools are ready to give up. The beginnings of our schools were marked by sincere desires, not only to open schools to share the faith, but to open schools of faith to serve the underserved. And CEAP schools at our ATF are called to the same duty. My first parish and school assignment was at Magallanes, Cavite. It was the farthest municipality of Cavite from Manila. Life there was so simple. Most people were farmers who could hardly afford sending their children to a private school. There was a Catholic elementary school in the place, the Nuestra Señora de Guia Parochial School, which for rebranding purposes, we renamed the Guia Academy. The school when I came in 2006 was barely surviving. There were only over 100 students, most of which were scholars of benefactors abroad recruited by the parish priest. Closing the school was an option entertained several times before, but we decided to keep the school open, and in fact, started its high school department a year after I came. I knew in my heart the school would play a very significant role in uplifting the lives not only of the students or their families individually, but of the parish and municipality too as a whole. But how would the school survive? I adopted the socialized tuition fee program initiated by our former bishop, now Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, in the school he founded, the Our Lady of the Pilar Catholic School, way back year 2000. The socialized tuition fee program has indeed saved the Guia Academy. The school enrollment increased year after year, and its financial deficit decreased in time. The program addressed the issue of the school's sustainability. Gradually, the amount the students can afford to pay contributed to the school's coffers. It was far better than having no collection from the students who could not afford paying the full amount and consequently would not enroll in the school. But more than the support for sustainability, the socialized tuition fee program has made the school accessible to as many who are willing to enroll and pay according to their means. Cardinal Tagle, when he opened the Our Lady of the Pilar Catholic School, had accessibility in mind when he adopted the socialized tuition fee program. Gathering the Bible sharing group leaders of the Cathedral Parish in a retreat to prepare for the Jubilee year 2000, he and these leaders discerned that Jesus wanted them for the Jubilee year 2000 to open a Catholic school that would not only raise young Imuseños in the faith, but also would welcome all, including the ordinary kids, and especially the underprivileged. At one point, when there would still be available slots and the class opening was coming so near, our good Cardinal would invite the street children, sampaguita vendors, and practically any child of school age that he would meet in the streets to enroll at OLPCS and study there. Good manager that he knew he should be, he was considering surely the school's financial viability. But undeniably, he was more preoccupied with the school's accessibility. After all, I knew he held it. It is the school's capacity to welcome all that makes the school more Christ-like, more Catholic, and not the school's financial viability. I wonder if Cardinal Tagle realized that his preoccupation for accessibility, which made him adopt the socialized tuition fee program, became another school's secret recipe for sustainability, that which was achieved in the Guia Academy. No doubt, OLPCS was sustained and remains being sustained by this program for the poor. Putting premium in the accessibility of the Catholic school has opened for us opportunities for evangelization, which is a reason for being of Catholic schools. In the beginning, parents paying the school fees in full could not accept the idea that they were subsidizing the studies of the poorer children in the school. That was their understanding, that they were supporting the education of the beneficiaries of the socialized tuition fee program. And this became an opportunity for the school, particularly in the Guia Academy, to share God's Word. And I refer specifically to the parable of the workers in the vineyard from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 20, verses 1 to 16. Just to recall the parable, the owner invited workers at different times of the day to work in the vineyard. But at day end, all workers were given the same whole day's wage. In similar vein, students paying in full and students in the socialized tuition fee program receive the same education, not because the payers subsidized those paying less, but because the school has decided to be generous to those who have less in life. The payers received the education they paid for. This is justice. Those paying less received the same education because of the school's generosity. And this is charity. There should not be any problem with that, as the landowner in the parable quipped at the end of the story, "Don't I have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you envious because I am generous?" In time, members of the school community, the teachers, students, parents, and even the parishioners began to accept the value of caring for the poor and needy in their midst. I remember the story of one high school student, also in the Gay Academy, who attended classes with uniform that was still a bit wet. The parents staying at the school's waiting area noticed it, and they among themselves addressed the need. They realized that the student had only one set of school uniform and that he had to wash them every night to hopefully wear them dry the following day. Knowing this student as a school scholar, and he was such because he left his family after suffering a series of serious physical abuse from his single mother, the parents in the school's waiting area contributed money to give this student another set of school uniform. This was a fruit of the school's concern for the poor that in time has transformed the values and mindsets of the people in the school. I am sure there are many more similar experiences which may not have reached my attention at all. Accessibility is transformative. Cardinal Tagle has shared many times how the rich families in Imus would opt to send their children to Our Lady of the Pilar Catholic School precisely because the school welcomed poor children. The rich parents would want to raise their kids to be sensitive to the plight of the poor. And they saw no better context for this but in a school where the poor are valued and accepted. The poor are not simply objects of transformative actions. The poor are in fact also active agents of transformation. The poor, by the fact of their poverty, offer invaluable life lessons to all. And how can the poor enter our schools to educate others if we do not value accessibility? Accessibility of Catholic schools is formative and transformative. It fosters relationships and builds up communion. With a desire to welcome all, our schools in the diocese now offer and value dearly economic scholarships in the menu of financial assistance extended to students. Grantees are selected and assisted not because of their intellectual capabilities or other talents, but simply because they are economically deprived. I sense the value for accessibility has the capacity to bring out the best in the school administrator. It is a good management training program. It is easy to run a school with a stable source of income. To welcome the poor and to welcome many of them, this surely challenges the administrator's resourcefulness and creativity. To the question often asked of me, Who do you think can succeed you as the superintendent? My answer is simply, choose the school leader, whether priest or lay, who has valued and lived out accessibility in the school or schools that he led. Surely, he could face and address any challenge of school administration, accessibility tests, and develops the capabilities of a school leader. If he could address accessibility issues, what else could he not face? Accessibility is one of the most difficult demands to a Catholic school, if not the most difficult one. Accessibility, however, does not begin and end at the admissions office. It begins in the planning department and affects all facets of school operations and programs. It challenges us to rethink of the roles of entrance exams, for example. Shall we accept only the intelligent ones? The value of remedial programs. Why allocate resources for the differently abled learners? The requirements of curriculum and instruction, so that we shall consider the affordability of projects, books, and other instructional demands. The co-curricular activities. Will this suit everybody? And can everyone afford it? And other school policies and procedures. Whether we admit it or not, we have school programs, activities, and things that whether we admit it or not, we have school programs, activities, and rules that favor a specific set of people more than others, discriminating or marginalizing, in other words. Accessibility has led us to close one school canteen, you may be surprised, and offer what we call the Solidarity Meal. It began with cases of stealing money in a grade 1 classroom. Upon investigation, the so-called perpetrators were very young pupils who were sent by their parents to school so early in the day without eating breakfast. Hungry they were. They resorted to getting somebody else's money or packed meal for their survival and also for their sanity. Should I apply the prescriptions of the discipline code in this case? Well, that would mean suspending or even dismissing grade 1 pupils whose faces remain innocent and angelic. Consistent with our desire to make the school open to all, we addressed the issue at its root. It was hunger, not merely poor moral values. We thought of organizing a feeding program for these hungry kids, but hunger is not addressed simply by filling up one's stomach. Very probably, these young kids would still steal if they were given simple food while their classmates were enjoying sausages, cakes, hamburgers, and others. So we decided to close the canteen and had the same meal served for everybody. And the Solidarity Meal program was born. We collected then, which was around 2013, only 16 pesos per day for the morning and afternoon snacks of our students from pre-elementary to high school, because the students would usually go home for lunch. But you see, 4 pesos would still go to the school to compensate for the loss of canteen income. 6 pesos each was allocated for morning and afternoon snacks, and what meals could be offered with only 6 pesos. If only the school will be resourceful enough, there is a lot to offer. Alam nyo, doon sa Magallanes, maraming saging na saba. Mura lang. Lunes, banana Q. Miyerkules, turon. Martes, maruya. Huwebes, nilagang saging na saba. Biyernes, matamis na saging. O, sa hapon, kamote naman o kasaba. Maraming pagkain na kaya maipundar sa 6 na pisong halaga. You see, born from valuing accessibility of the Catholic school, the Solidarity Meal solved the issues of hunger and stealing. But it also built up community living among classmates and in the entire school family. Alam nyo, dito ko nakita ang value ng mga bata, lalo pa ng mga nasa elementary, hindi kumain ng masarap, kundi kumain ng sama-sama. Maiinggit ka kapag nakita mo sila kung paano kasaya kumain ng pare-pareho ng sama-sama. Teachers were able to save money they intended for their merienda. And going back to the teachers in pre-elementary and primary grades, they got bigger because of the Solidarity Meal Program. Bakit? Because they would eat the leftovers of their pupils. Sayang naman. And that was before COVID-19. And the school's income did not suffer at all. May kinukuha ang school for every 16 pesos. And because of this experience, for the second time, accessibility has proven itself to be capable of lending support to sustainability. Most rewarding, perhaps, in valuing accessibility in the Catholic school is its contribution to the spiritual life and growth of those who are paying sincere attention. Did not Jesus say, "Whatever you do to the least of your brothers, you did it to me"? In our desire to welcome all in our schools, we treasure so many faith experiences of God's providence. The Lord surely rewards everything that we do to the least of our brothers and sisters. I was not really surprised if Our Lady of the Pilar Catholic School was able to build 3 school buildings from donations raised by Cardinal Tagle. The Cardinal, school founder, and director surely enjoyed the right connections. But I was overwhelmed when the Gay Academy had its turn of receiving a financial assistance to build its own building too. The assistance came not in the form of a donation, but in terms of loan with interest paid in scholarship grants and to be paid when able. Not bad, was it? Never did I realize that our works of charity in our accessibility program were inspiring people, benefactors from a distance, that they would desire to help and be part of the same charitable work. Having established a name committed to accessibility, expressed in various ways in the school, aside from the socialized tuition fees or economic scholarships, a number of our schools have improved their facilities and programs because of the generous help from people who share the same value for the poor. And their help has motivated us to level up all the more our accessibility programs. Most of our schools welcome poor students and grant them the aid they need. But these schools simply are welcoming the poor students who come. Santo Rosario Catholic School in Rosario, Cavite went a step further. They do not simply wait for the poor to come. They look for them. They search them and they offer them their programs. They assist them as much as they can so they will decide to enroll in the school. Many times, our poor will not come to our schools even if we are ready to welcome them, as they cannot easily believe that our schools are indeed ready to welcome them. But when I speak of sustainability due to accessibility, I do not refer here to schools having big fund surpluses, investment portfolios, or perks and privileges similar to big corporations and companies. No. A sustainable school, given my experience, is one that survives from day to day, week to week, month to month, and year to year. It is beyond struggling, but never still in a secured state. Plainly surviving is my best description of a sustainable school with accessibility as a priority. And I have learned to accept this fact. For I hold, how can a school that embraces the poor experience an existence that is far from what the poor are experiencing? If the poor are barely surviving, so is the school that opened itself to them. Should the school be otherwise? I do not know if this presentation has inspired you at all. If inspiration is equated with consolation, well, I doubt if I succeeded. But if my words and examples have made you rethink, then I would be happy enough. Even a little, I hope I have touched, tickled, or even scratched your spirit. The concern for accessibility is part of our school's beginnings. Our founders surely desired it, to make our schools open to all. And it remains a part of our school's ongoing saga to capture our true identity and live out our true mission. A daunting challenge, yes, it is. But remember, schools are made for challenges, not complacencies. Accessibility may not be a pressing issue at this time for some or many, but I raised it here just the same. If this is not meant for CAP's 80th, then maybe we are ready for this when CAP will celebrate its 100th. Maraming salamat po at maligayang araw ng CAP sa inyong lahat. God bless po.
Thank you very much, Father Alain, for that truly inspiring message and for challenging us to make our schools accessible to everyone, especially to the poor. At this point, we call on our Executive Director, Mr. Jose Alan Arellano, to present the Certificate of Appreciation to Father Alain.
Thank you, Mary Ann, and thank you once again, Father Alain, for your beautiful sharing on accessibility and sustainability and your sharing of the beautiful story of Our Lady of the Pillar Catholic School and Digia Catholic School. Salamat ng marami. Let me now formally read our Certificate of Appreciation. The Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Father Alain P. Manalo in grateful recognition of his invaluable contribution as an inspirational speaker during the celebration of the 80th foundation anniversary of CEAP on the second day of February in the year of our Lord 2021. Signed, Jose Alan Arellano, Executive Director, Sister Maria Marisa Arvini, RVM President. Once again, thank you and congratulations, Father Alain.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arellano. And now we call on our treasurer, Father Albert Delvo, to respond to Father Alain's message on behalf of the association. Father Albert?
Good morning to all esteemed administrators, faculty, personnel, students, and parents of CEAP member schools. Happy 80th founding anniversary. Thank you very much, Father Alain, for your stimulating and inspiring message. Thank you also for reminding us of what Gravissimum Educationis say about Christian education, that it is a right and not a privilege. In the present state, however, with the high cost of education and limited resources, parents are not able to exercise that right and they are left without a choice. In Pope Francis' message during the Global Compact in Education last October 2019, he said, and I quote, "Recent statistics from international agencies have led some to speak perhaps somewhat hastily of an educational catastrophe inasmuch as some 10 million children were forced to leave school as a result of the economic strain brought about by the coronavirus," end quote. Hence, it is important that as Catholic schools, we do our part in making our schools accessible to all, especially to the children from the less fortunate, underprivileged, and marginalized families whose parents are without name, power, position, influence, and treasure in our society or community. In the same message, the Pope called for solidarity because solving this crisis could not be done by only one sector. He said, and I again quote, "To educate is always an act of hope, one that calls for cooperation in turning a barren and paralyzing indifference into another way of thinking that recognizes our interdependence," unquote. As a reputable association, guided by the defining characteristics of the Philippine Catholic school standards of being animated by the spirit of communion and engaged in the service of the church and society with preferential option for the needy, we are called to work together and respond selflessly, not out of our abundance, but out of compassion, to give and share generously, not out of our affluence, but even out of our scarcity and great need. To actualize and realize this, we gently call on our primary stakeholders in the regions to come together as one vibrant region and identify struggling mission schools in your particular region that are in dire need of help and institute a relevant and responsive program of assistance in the region so that those schools can progressively continue to make transformative Filipino Catholic evangelizing education accessible to the learners from poverty-stricken families. At the national level, we continue with our Kapatiran Kamagong program. And right now, as we are virtually connected, and as I speak, with the prospective approval of the board and in compliance with some implementing guidelines, we intend to release soon the remaining Kapatiran Kamagong Fund in the amount of 1,236,167 pesos and add a little more from our operational funds to be able to allocate 80,000 to each of the 17 regions on the occasion of our 80th year foundation anniversary to help the schools that are most in need in the regions. Please augment and complement the said amount by mobilizing the institutional members comprising your region for more vitality and dynamism in our engagement to promote accessibility, to enhance education quality, and to address creatively the stunting and malnutrition among school children. This is our concrete response to the challenge that Father Alain has brilliantly given us today. May we continue to do our share to make our CEAP schools accessible by helping one another as we actively continue to pursue our vision of ennobling and enabling the children and the young for our country, the world, and the church that we love and serve selflessly with competence and commitment. To promote, if I may add, institutional accessibility may also require that we, school leaders and managers, make ourselves also accessible, available, and approachable to the people we work with and work for in our respective educational institutions. Thank you very much, and happy Valentine's to all of you in advance.
Thank you very much, Father Albert, for reminding us to work together, animated by the spirit of communion, and to continue to give and share our resources with one another. If you wish to make a donation to the Kapatirang Kamagong Fund, please note the details on screen. And now, with one voice, let us sing our CEAP hymn, Huwarang Katoliko.
Sa ikaw at ako, natuto sa prinsipyong punyo at serbisyong totoo. Kahalin tulad ni Kristo, isang huwarang Katoliko. Pagkakaisa sa tulong at gawa, masasalamat alaala, pagpapako, ang misyon sa mundo, magagawa sa biyaya ni Kristo. Ang kabataan, may hamon at alay sa ating bayan, maging lingkod at tulad ng pagbabago sa misyon sa mundo. Virgen Maria.
that, we begin the year-long celebration of CEAP's 80th Foundation Anniversary. The mission continues. Happy CEAP Day, everyone. Enjoy your lunch and have a blessed afternoon. Thank you.